Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Badger Breakdown, brought to you by U.S. Cellular. I'm Mike Lucas for UWBadgers.com. I'm joined by the voice of the Badgers, Matt Lepay. Matt, as we get ready to head to Columbus for a really big game against the Ohio State Buckeyes, let's look back. What did we learn about the Badgers in their win over Purdue in the Big Ten opener?
I think some people learned, and maybe many others just had confirmed, the ability of this team, this program, to bounce back after a very hard-to-stomach loss. The seniors on this team right now have done such a great job through their careers of doing that, of having extremely difficult losses and yet coming back and being championship caliber. I don't know yet whether this team this year is championship caliber, but that was a very impressive performance. I thought it was a loud, affirmative answer last week against Purdue as to how they would come out.
I agree. Is it possible, too, that we saw another dimension to Melvin Gordon as far as his ability to pick up yardage after contact and to run between the tackles? Because that's been a question about Melvin since last year.
Yeah, no doubt. We all know what he can do in the fly sweep game. Extremely dangerous, probably has opposing defensive coordinators not getting a lot of sleep as you try to prepare for that. But his ability, he's so strong. I mean, you know it, I know it. When you see this guy without the pads, he is really put together. And his ability to get you 4, 5, 6 yards when maybe a lot of other backs would get you a couple, that was an impressive thing, and I know it's something that has Gary Anderson smiling right now.
I think it was very telling and very encouraging, too, that when you start going to those chat rooms and people are questioning the number of touches that Melvin Gordon is getting compared to James White, that James White responded the way he did.
70-yard run, right? I mean, we talk about Melvin Gordon being a home run hitter. Well, James is too. And as Gary Anderson said, it's a nice problem to have. And we haven't even mentioned Corey Clement yet, who got back into the flow last week against Purdue. When third place is averaging, what, 6.5 yards a carry or more this year, you know you have a good situation. Clearly, it'll get more difficult starting on Saturday night, but they're doing everything you could ask so far.
After beating Purdue, Gary Anderson was the first one to bring it up about the passing game. And the Badgers have to improve and get more consistent, maybe more efficient in the throw game.
Yeah, and I think, and I catch myself with this with Joel Stavey. He's still young. And remember, he walked on to the program. Now, they stole one maybe with him. I mean, there are a lot of people who should have offered him a scholarship before the Badger opportunity came around. But he's had 3 road games as a starter. This will be number 4. And we all know he can make the throws. They're just looking, again, the word consistency, looking for that from him. And they're also, you know, the Jared Abbrederis, we know how good he is, but the story continues. What other wide receivers are going to step up? And that could be by committee, could week to week. Could be Jordan Frederick one week. That could be the tight ends another week. That could shift Saturday to Saturday.
Everybody's talking about it. You think this rivalry has lost any of its luster because Brett Bielema is now coaching at Arkansas and Gary Anderson and Urban Meyer are friends?
About that much. About that much.
It's more about us and the way we cover a game rather than the game itself.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, in our relationship with Brett and our relationship with Gary, it's been interesting, I think, from our perspective. But I think if you're a fan, the average fan, you don't like Ohio State very much. And if you're an Ohio State fan, you don't like Wisconsin very much. And I think that stays the same.
The hot button topic in Columbus and as well here in Madison is Braxton Miller versus Kenny Guyton. Who would you rather see if you were Wisconsin?
Yeah, it's our question of the week, our U.S. Cellular question of the week, coming from Travis from right here in Madison. And he poses that question: what's the bigger concern, the legs of Braxton Miller or the arm of Kenny Guyton? Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And I think I would be more concerned with Braxton Miller if you could guarantee me that Wisconsin would be seeing Braxton Miller at his ultimate, a healthy Braxton Miller, an efficient Braxton Miller. But I don't know that's going to be the case. So I'd roll the dice maybe and take my chances with an injured Braxton Miller versus a Guyton who has really generated a lot of momentum.
Yeah, we talk about nice problem with Wisconsin's running backs. Urban Meyer has a nice problem with his quarterbacks, and I agree with you. I mean, Braxton Miller's a Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year last year.
He's a starter for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the limited time he's played, the first game against Buffalo and one series against San Diego State, he has shown an ability, an improvement in throwing the ball. That's the one thing that I think they talked about with him over the offseason. And the small sample size that's out there, it looks as though he's gotten a lot better. And we also should point out, and you know this, Kenny Guyton is dangerous running the ball as well. But they're both very, very good, but Miller is about as good as it gets. Best player offensively in the conference and considered one of the top offensive players in the country.
I'm going to direct this question at you. You've seen a lot of very good Ohio State football teams over the years. Is this about the deepest you've seen the Buckeyes on offense? Not only at quarterback, we would just mention, wide receiver, tailback, and a veteran offensive line.
Yeah, the veteran offensive line with one exception, a new starter at right tackle, but the receivers have gotten a year older, a year better. If it's Evan Spencer, if it's Chris Fields, I think so, Mike. This is as much versatility as I think Ohio State has had in a while, and the way they play faster. In a lot of ways, like Arizona State, they'll vary the speeds, but they're averaging about 76, 77 plays a game. That's 8 or 9 more than Wisconsin. That's something to keep an eye out for on Saturday. By the way, Travis, we congratulate you for having your question chosen, for being our U.S. Cellular Question of the Week winner. You pick up a Badger prize pack, which includes some authentic Badger apparel, all courtesy of U.S. Cellular. Just pose us a question, hashtag it Badger Breakdown, and if we use your question, you will win.
One final thought. Do you think it's going to be a high-scoring game that the Badgers have to score to keep pace with Ohio State? And if there is a question about the Buckeyes, is it on defense?
Yeah, to your second point, yes. I think there's a lot of athleticism there on defense. Secondary is very good and it's experienced. The front seven, less experience, with one notable exception, Ryan Shazier, but there's a lot of speed there. To the first part, I can see a game in a lot of ways not unlike Arizona State, high 20s, low 30s. I think it's that type of a game. And if it's close, it's time for Wisconsin to get one of those.
Should be fun. I don't know a better atmosphere than what we'll find in the Horseshoe.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, Michigan, their Michigan game is on the road this year, so this is one that they circle. It'll be loud.
For Matt Lepay, I'm Mike Lucas for UWBadgers.com. Thanks for watching Badger Breakdown, brought to you by U.S. Cellular.